Mesechus Eruvin daf tzadi hey. In the sugya of tikra yerid v'soisim, the Rambam paskins in Hilchos Shabbos that tikra only helps midrabanan. He says that achsadra bebika mutal talta bekula, even though there's three mechitzes and a tikra, because you look at the tikra ki'ilu it's yerid v'soisim, and therefore it's mutal talta bekula. And if somebody's zorik from Rishus Rabim l'Seicha, he's part of the same way. If you have a koira pnei amavui that's only matim d'Rabbanan, so too tikra is considered mechitzes d'Rabbanan. I indicate in Oira that asks many kashas on the Rambam. He says, how could it be that tikra is similar to a koira? If that's the case, what's the tzad of the Gemara that tikra should work on more than one side? Koira and mavui is only mata on one side, and also shver, how could it be mata more than 10 amas? Koira and the mavui is only mata in 10 amas. Then he continues and asks that the halacha is that tikra helps for sukkah, and sukkah is a shayla of a deraisa, and who didn't helps to mafsik between klayim. How could it help to mafsik and klayim if tikra is only a mechitzim d'Rabbanan? How could it help for klayim? So to answer the kasha from Klayim, we could answer according to Yesod from Reb Chaim that we mentioned this year on the Tzadi Beis. Reb Chaim says that the Gabi the Loch of Tzuras HaPesach, according to Shittas Rambam, that you need Oim Ruba for Tzuras HaPesach. However, in Hilchos Klayim, the Rambam says that even by Poretz Meruba, Tzuras HaPesach is Mata Klayim, and Reb Chaim explains because it's Cholek B'Ika Yisai Dinoi, the Mechitza that's needed for Klayim and Mechitzas from Shabbos and Sukkot. Mechitzas of Klayim is only Lahafsuke Ba'alma. You don't need the Mechitzas itself. It just needs a hefsik between Aruga, and therefore Tzuras HaPesach is Mahani Lafsuke. However, in Shabbos and Sukkah, that you need the mechitzas itself at Tzuras HaPesach doesn't have a loch of mechitzas. Over here also, you could say that tikra works specifically by klayim because lafsuki ba'alma, you don't need the mechitzas mitzaratzma. However, it's still shver from the Rambam in Hilchos Sukkah. The Chazan Yecheskel in Shabbos says a tremendous chiddush to answer the Rambam to be mechalik that tikra is mahani midiraisa and sukkah, not by Shabbos. He says that by Shabbos it's choluk from sukkah because Shabbos you need the mechitzas not for itself. The main point in mechitzas in Shabbos is to void the Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim. So therefore, since it's only lafsukim Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim, a tikra won't be mafsik from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim. However, by Sukkah, when the halacha of the mechitzas is mitzad atzmam, tikra has a din mechitza. Only by Shabbos, when you have to divide from Rishus HaRabim, it will not help the halacha of tikra. He says, "Yishlefalpel bezatuva." This is tzarchian from the Chaznish that we mentioned of Tzadi Beis that says that Sukkah is different from Shabbos. It needs a doifin, so therefore, specifically by Sukkah, nir b'chutz won't make a doifin, but for Shabbos it would work. This is l'hepech of what the Chazon Yecheskel is saying over here. A different mahalach he could say, according to the Yesod that we mentioned on Daf Tzadi Gimel from Abba Berman, that he proves from Taisin Daf Tzadi Gimel, that the gather of mechitzas of Hitzor Shabbos is not that the mechitzas is making the Rishus HaYachid. The mechitzas is a din in the ikar meleches Hitzor, that the meleches Hitzor is to go over a mechitza, and therefore, from going from Rishus Rabim to Rishus HaYachid, when there's a mechitza facing the Rishus Rabim, is also not from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus Rabim that there's no mechitza. So according to this, you could say that it's cholok tuva mechitzas of Rishus HaYachid on Shabbos and Lagabi Sukkah. The Gabi Shabbos is not only making the Rishus HaYachid, it's a halacha in the guf of the Ma'isa Hitzah. So therefore, tikra, when there's no mechitza be'en, it's just a halacha that the tikra from above goes down. It's not going to make a Ma'isa Hitzah into a Ma'isa Hitzah. It's a specific svara, the Gabi Shabbos, that will not pertain to Sukkah. Moving further on, the Gemara Beis says that when you find tefillin on Shabbos, you could be machnis, it's zug, you could be machnis, 2 pairs of tefillin together, according to the Manda Omar. The mitzvah is tzriechot kavana, so when you're putting on 2 pairs of tefillin, it's not bal toisif, but according to the Manda Omar, mitzvah ain't tzriechot kavana, so therefore, it's a mitzvah even without kavana, and if you put 2 pairs of tefillin on at the same time, it's an isser bal toisif. The Turi Evan and the Taisis Rebbeinu Peretz over here ask a tremendous kasha from this Gemara on the Chiddush that's before in Rishonim and Taisis and Sukkot Aflam and Tes and other Rishonim that even the Mandama mitzvahs ain't tzriechot kavana and you yotze the mitzvah without kavana. If you mechavin clearly, you don't want to be yotze the mitzvah, you're not yotze the mitzvah. So therefore, the Turi Evan asks that even according to the mitzvahs ain't tzriechot kavana, you should be able to put on 2 pairs of tefillin and have in mind clearly that you don't want to be yotze the mitzvah, and therefore won't be bal toisif. So to answer this kasha, there's a tremendous yisoid from Reb Shlomo Hayman, and Be'emes is before like that, and Reb Chanan brings from Reb Chaim, that there's a tremendous difference between the Mandama mitzvahs tzriechot kavana and the Mandama mitzvahs ain't tzriechot kavana when you have kavana not to be yotze. If you hold mitzvahs tzriechot kavana, you need kavana, and it's a chelik of the mitzvah. Without kavana, you're missing in the mitzvah, and it's not a ma'aseh mitzvah. So therefore, if you don't have kavana, it's not bal toisif. However, your whole mitzvah ain't tzriechot kavana, so even without kavana, it's a mitzvah. That you could have a mind not to be yotze is not a chesaron in the ma'aseh mitzvah. It's halach in the kiyah mitzvah. You can't be mekayim. You can't fulfill your obligation in the mitzvah when you're intending not to be yotze, but you're doing the asiyah that the Torah is mitzaviyu. So since you're doing the asiyah, the ma'isa, the Torah is mitzaviyu, therefore will be considered bal toisif. There's a big nafkamina from this Chakira because there's tremendous discussion in the Poskim and the Bialocha and Minchas from Shlomo Zalman. What happens if someone eats in the sukkah without kavana or puts on tzitzis without kavana? Is it as if he ate out of the sukkah, he put on a begedal comforts without tzitzis? So if the pshat is he's missing the mitzvah, like Shlomo is saying, it's as if he ate out of a sukkah. But if it's only chesar in the kiyah mitzvah, then it's not considered like he ate out of the sukkah. He did the ma'aseh mitzvah, he just wasn't mekayim his mitzvah. There's a tremendous kasha on this yisoid of Reb Shlomo, and if you heard this kasha from David Shustel Shlita, from Tosis in Psachim, Tav Kuf Tezayin and Aleph, that says that L'mana mitzvah tzriechot kavana, and you only yotze the mitzvah of Tibul by Tibul Sheni, you could still make a bracha al chilatz mara on Tibul Rishon. On tzarachin, how can you make a bracha on Tibul Rishon? It's not a mitzvah. Mitzvah tzriechot kavana, you only yotze the second Tibul. So the first Tibul is nothing. It's not a mitzvah. So how can you make a bracha? So Bishlam, if it's a mitzvah, you're not yotze the mitzvah until you have kavana. So it's good, you can make a bracha on a ma'aseh mitzvah. But according to Reb Shlomo and Reb Chaim, that when you're missing kavana, it's not a mitzvah at all. So how can you make a bracha on Tibul Rishon? So to the answer is kasha, we could tell to a yisoid from our Berman, Zechayin Levracha, that we mentioned the shir and the flamet beis and brachas. In every ma'aseh, there's 2 different halachas. There's a ma'aseh mitzad hagavra, that the agavra is doing, he's an oisa in this ma'aseh. And then there's a din of the ma'aseh mitzad the guf hachefza. He brings a raya from the fact that the Rebbe Chanan and the Shlomo say when someone's a oinus, it's not considered a ma'aseh aveir b'chlal. And it's tzarachin, if it's not a ma'aseh aveir b'chlal, when someone is a oinus, you're forced to do something. So why is the halacha, the yarig val yavor, when someone's forced to be over one the gimel aveiros chamuris is yarig val yavor? Why is yarig val yavor? He's not doing an aveir b'chlal, it's not his ma'aseh b'chlal. So he proves from here, you see, and there's many other rayas, that there's 2 different halachas. There's the halacha mitzad asiyas hagarva, and legabi the asiyas hagarva, when you're an oinus, you're not considered a oisa. And there's another halacha mitzad the guf hachefza, that there is an asiyah that's being done through your ma'isa, and since there is a ma'isa, it has a din of a ma'isa that's being done through your action, that mitzad that is halacha of yarig val yavor. So we could say the same thing over here, that if your mitzvah tzriechot kavana to be considered a ma'aseh mitzvah mitzad the gavra, you need kavana, and therefore without kavana it's not bal toisif, because you don't have a ma'aseh mitzvah mitzad the gavra, but the chefza, the ma'aseh mitzvah there is. And since there's a chefza of a ma'aseh mitzvah, on that it passes to make a bracha according to Shitas Tosis and Psachim.